आज ही डाउटनेट ऐप डाउनलोड करें। डाउटनेट पर होगा अब आपके सभी मैथ्स, केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स और बायोलॉजी डाउट्स का सफाया। बस अपने क्वेश्चन की फोटो खींचो, उसे क्रॉप करो और तुरंत वीडियो सॉल्यूशन पाओ। डाउनलोड नाउ।
In this question, we are asked to state 3 characteristics of acquired immunity and then list the different ways by which it can be obtained by humans. So first of all, what's immunity? Immunity is the body's resistance towards any pathogen. It is of two types: natural or innate immunity, and there is the acquired immunity. The immunity which is present at the time of birth is called the natural immunity, and the one which is not present at the time of birth and is obtained over the course of our life is called acquired immunity. Therefore, we can say that acquired immunity is not present at the time of birth and it is acquired over the course of our life. Now, what are the characteristics of acquired immunity? The first characteristic of acquired immunity is that it is specific. So, we can write acquired immunity is pathogen specific. Now, what does pathogen specific means? Pathogen specific means that the acquired immunity is specific for specific types of pathogens. There is therefore different types of antibodies are produced for different types of pathogen. If a particular type of antibody is produced for a particular type of pathogen, then for different pathogen, that is for any other type of pathogen, a different set of antibodies will be produced. Next, we can say that the acquired immunity has a memory, that is, it is memory based. Now, we can ask, what is a memory? Memory based means that every time our body encounters a pathogen, our body keeps a memory of that specific pathogen and the type of antibody that is produced. That is called the first encounter. And when a body encounters the pathogen for the next time or the subsequent times, a large number of antibodies are produced in the body. Therefore, the pathogen is easily encountered and killed away. That was memory based characteristic of the acquired immunity. The third characteristic is that there is two response in the acquired immunity. First, the acquired immunity has a primary response. So we can say acquired immunity has two responses. First is primary response, and the next is secondary response. So as I said, when the body encounters the pathogen for the first time, that is, after the birth, the first encounter of the body with a particular pathogen creates the primary response. In the primary response, the response is slow. Therefore, a fewer antibodies are produced against the pathogen, and in most cases, the body suffers the disease. But in the secondary response, as the acquired immunity is memory based, the body produces a very large number of antibodies and easily tackles the pathogen, and the body doesn't suffer a disease. Therefore, it is called the secondary response or the anamnestic response. Next, we have to list the different ways by which the humans obtain acquired immunity. That is, in the course of life, how does a particular human being obtain this acquired immunity? We can categorize the process of acquiring the acquired immunity into two basic divisions. First is active, the next is passive. So acquired immunity can be active or it can be passive. Active means the antibodies are produced in the body of the human. So when the antibodies are produced by the body itself, then it is called acquired active immunity. And when the antibodies are produced in some other person and the antibodies or the prepared antibodies are injected into a particular human, then it is called passive immunity. Now we can see how do we obtain acquired active immunity. For obtaining acquired active immunity, the first condition or the first method to acquire acquired active immunity is through clinical infections. Clinical infections. The most basic example is of chickenpox. Whenever a person suffers chickenpox, then the person acquires an acquired active immunity, that is, the body of that particular person produces antibodies against the chickenpox virus and has a memory against that particular virus. Therefore, whenever the virus attacks the person for the next time, the body is ready for the attack and produces a large number of antibodies and creates a secondary response and tackles the attack. The next is through vaccination or immunization. Vaccination or immunization. In vaccination or immunization, we put weakened or killed pathogens into the body, and then the body encounters the killed or weakened pathogen and then produces a primary response. Since the bacteria or the pathogen is weakened or killed, it doesn't create a disease, but it creates a memory. So the main part is through vaccination we create a memory in the body. Then the next time the active bacteria or the pathogen is encountered in the body, then the body produces a secondary response, that is the main response, and therefore we do not get the disease. Now we can talk about how do we acquire passive acquired immunity. We obtain passive acquired immunity when the freshly prepared or the prepared antibodies are inserted into the body. So best example is the tetanus serum or the anti-tetanus serum. In the anti-tetanus serum, that is serums, the antibodies are prepared and injected into the body. When the antibodies are prepared somewhere else, it is called passive immunity. So the antibodies are prepared elsewhere and then injected into the body so that the person do not infects himself, and therefore the person does not get a disease. So these were the ways by which a person or a human can obtain acquired immunity.
क्लास 6 से 12 से लेके नीट IIT JEE मेंस और एडवांस के लेवल तक 10 मिलियन से ज़्यादा स्टूडेंट्स का भरोसा। आज ही डाउनलोड करें डाउटनेट ऐप या व्हाट्सएप कीजिए अपने डाउट्स 8400 400 400 पर।